Nutt Road Vineyard is one of within our portfolio, probably the biggest outlier in terms of its geographic location. Farmed by the Martini family, who own Anthony Road Wine Company, Nutt Road is planted up near Anthony Road, as you would expect. So that means it is on the northwest side of Seneca Lake. Pretty far north, relatively far west, and gives us a totally different expression of Cabernet Franc than what we would see down in our usual vineyards.
Nut Road fruit is really just a joy to work with. One, because it brings so many different characteristics than we're used to seeing with some of the other vineyard sites that we work with. And two, because Peter Martini knows exactly what he's doing. It's really interesting how the Cabernet Franc is fully ripe. We're not looking at issues with MPs, but then it also has a little bit more of these kind of interesting, savory, herbal notes, which is really not an easy kind of balance to find with having fully ripe Cabernet Franc. That still has the acidity that can lend itself to these dry rosé styles as well.
Yeah, it works beautifully for rosé, and that same pick for rosé makes a beautiful, kind of elegant, light-bodied Cabernet Franc expression that we like to make every couple of years when the fruit justifies it.
And Nut Road is used exclusively for the Kelby James Russell label here at Red Newt. So I think, Kelby's early years in the Finger Lakes, he was working up in that area. So he's a little bit more familiar with that fruit than certainly I am. But I think he knew what it was capable of making stylistically and thought that it would really go well for the Kelby James Russell label.
I think what's unique about that site, it's near one of the widest parts of Seneca Lake, which is kind of the key to the survival of the vines. It's not as deep there, but it's quite wide. But during the summer, it's a relatively cooler stretch of the Finger Lakes than what we're used to down here. You really actually see Lake Ontario influence when you're up that far north, which is surprising, I think, because we're so used to thinking of the Finger Lakes as the Finger Lakes. But Lake Ontario is only 25 miles away at that point, and if you have a nice breeze coming across it, it keeps things a few degrees cooler up there. One thing that we've noticed in working with this fruit over the last handful of years is that the wines that result from it age remarkably well. The rosés, which we're so often used to thinking of as a drink that next summer sort of wine, actually do better with 1 or 2 years in the bottle, if not more. The Cabernet Franc, as a red wine that comes from it, starts out quite light in the bottle, but actually picks up weight and texture as it ages, kind of the opposite of what you would normally expect of a red wine, and kind of a cool trick that we've got to watch happen 3 times in a row now.